straight up without further ado, that's the big man right there. Leandro Trossard. What a baller. What about this is a player that since we signed him, he hasn't disappointed. The game against Everton is should be a case study of control. The emphasis this season by Mikel Arteta has been on control. It's been on control. He wants to put the players on the pitch who are most comfortable on the ball, who have the best passing range. There's a reason he tried to play Kirill, Saliba, Ben White, Thomas Partey in the back four. Whereby Partey inverts into the midfield, Kirill can invert. You have almost like you're having 3-3-3. Just players who are adept at keeping the ball, who are so effortless at holding onto the ball. Leandro Trossard is a game changer. Remember in the community, she's a player that takes risk. I tend to like players who take risk, right? Because football is about scoring. And sometimes you need those enigma. You need players who are not risk averse. In our team, who are the players who take a lot of risk? Leandro Trossard, Martinelli, Gabriel Jesus. When Gabriel Jesus holds the ball, you feel like something can happen. You don't get that with Nketiah. Nketiah is a very, very good player. He's a player that can score 10 to 15 goals for Premier League goals. I believe that easily. He can score that every season, even while not starting majority of the games. If he starts half of the games of Premier League and comes off the bench remaining half, he's capable of giving 10 to 15 Premier League goals in the top 10. But he's not a player, maybe right now, maybe he will never be. He's not a player who just makes you feel like, yeah, something is going to happen here. But this man right here, diminutive, ambidextrous, ability to turn on the sixpence. He went to talk to Mikel Arteta just before the international break, asking for more playing time. Mikel said, relax, man. It's a marathon, not a race. Based on his preseason performance, he was the best player in preseason. Kudos to him. He goes on the green screen. He goes on our screen to show that we need more match winners. We need players who have the ability to create something out of nothing. Make no mistake, that finish was exquisite. For a player who can use both feet, that is even more difficult. That is a skill that the best left-footed players would be happy to score. That goal is very, very difficult. It requires a master at work to score that goal. Kudos, great kudos to that man on the screen. Leandro, baller, absolute baller. He shows the extent of our bench. The depth from our bench is strong this season, especially in some positions. I think Martinelli will be out a couple of weeks. That's Gabriel right there, Gabriel Martinelli right on the floor. Let's move on to Martinelli. It's a huge loss, especially with our Champions League game coming up this week. This is a player that he's been building up to this moment. Him and Saka have never played in the Champions League. They are players who belong to the Champions League. First of all, you got a double whammy in the sense that he scored a goal that by every strength of the imagination should be a goal. But to the letter of the law, the goal was chalked off quite rightly. Because if somebody scored Arsenal that goal too, and I find in the law book that, okay, this is the way it's supposed to be, I want to go chalked off. The ball ricocheted off, I think, Baby, or Beto, sorry, I don't know why I keep calling him Beto Baby, and goes onto the path of Nketiah, who was an air breadth offside, and Fabio Vieira played an exquisite pass to Martinelli, who gave us that Henry-esque finish. Magnificent finish right there. I think while he was running, he pulled something. He put his army, and it's done. So it's going to be out for 2 to 4 weeks. Um, Hopefully, it's not something worse than that. But ideally, 2 to 4 weeks for a young player, a player of his history, his physical level. I think he's not going to be out for too much. He's probably going to miss Man City or be on the bench. But the squad should cope, right? If we say we want to be here, we need to be able to cope with injuries. That is the level. If that is the level that we are aiming to get to, if that is the level that we are aiming to challenge at, Martinelli is out for 2 to 4 weeks. It's going to coincide with when Thomas Partey comes back. What that means is our midfield is threatened because I want to see Partey and Declan Rice in that midfield sometimes. And we'll get Martinelli back. Jorginho is going to play a lot of games within this period. Leandro Trossard, who has been crying for games, is going to play games. And Nelson, who signed a new contract, let us see what you're worth. Are you worth your weight in gold? Can you give Saka a breather? Can you give Trossard a breather? You get more games. Smith Road. Everybody wants to see Smith Road. People are castigating Mikel as though he doesn't want to play Smith Road. So you're going to see Smith Road. Don't worry, guys. We've got Carling Cup games coming up. We got Premier League games. We're going to get FA Cup games coming up. And we have the Champions League. We are back, baby. So, Martinelli, all the best to you. On Declan Rice, Ian Wright said the fact that Declan is quiet, and we're speaking about him, proves that he has gone about his job and he has done very well. That's exactly what he does. Nobody speaks about how much Declan Rice costs. People are still talking about Enzo Fernandez, talking about Caicedo, talking about Darwin Nunes, talking about all this place. Declan Rice is just radio silence. Why do you think that is? He's been absolutely magnificent. Magnificent. This guy right here, based on a very small sample size, I'm like, wow, wow, wow. I didn't know he was this good. I saw him playing for West Ham. He was good, descent on the ball, and I saw that he has an ability to cover space. I wasn't dead sure about his ability on the ball. I've seen him play some passes here and there. Wow. We saw against Manchester United when he got all the headlines, but he scored the goal. But he has been playing similarly to that. Declan is 8 or 9 out of 10 every week. When he plays like he did this week and doesn't score, this is exactly what he did against Manchester United. He goes about it quietly and efficiently, stomps things out, progresses the ball, and defensively he does everything. You're always going to get out of him. That is a magnificent midfielder. His ability to cover the blade of the grass. This guy is everywhere. Him and this guy right here, Alexander Zinchenko, my God. The level of control, the level of dynamism that Alexander Zinchenko gives Arsenal. I feel like guys, even slow down, slow down. We've missed Zinchenko and Gabriel Jesus, the two players that we said fundamentally moved us to another level last season. We've missed them the first few weeks of the season. We've gotten 13 out of 15 points, playing relatively well. We've been the better team in every single game we've played this season. We have had more control. We have had more chances than any of our opponents. That is factual. This guy is different gravy. I know he's defensively suspect, but he is not really in the team based on his defensive ability. He's in the team as a midfielder playing in defense, and his job is to progress the ball to the final third, sit alongside Declan Rice, control the midfield so that people like Fabio Vieira and Odegaard can play in the half space, in those pockets of space where they can pick a pass on the sixpence, where they can turn on the sixpence, where they can drive into space, cross the ball, create overloads, strike the ball. This guy, I do my heart for you. It's different level. People talk about Trent Alexander-Arnold. Again, Trent Alexander-Arnold's delivery on the ball from midfield is one of the best I've ever seen. It's Beckham-esque. That guy is not a defender. But Zinchenko's ability to dominate a midfield against more physical players, dominate the midfield against players who can run for days. It's just turns, it just moves, it's here and there. Like he's a magnet for the ball. Anywhere the ball is, that's where you find Zinchenko. That is a very, very rare ability to find. This guy, apart from the only problem I have from not even is the defensive side, is maybe he's still building his fitness right now. I've seen that Zinchenko is a player who tends to slow down from like 70 minutes, 75 minutes, even when he was at his absolute peak physically last season. He wasn't able to sustain 90 minutes consistently. I think he did it a couple of times against Aston Villa, if I'm not mistaken, against Manchester United. But he's not a player who completes 90 minutes. I want to see if he can up his fitness because we need him, the level of control. And he's very, very underrated in the air. This guy is very good in the air. Kudos, bro. Kudos to Zinchenko. Kudos. He is a brilliant find by Mikel and his team. Now, the player ratings, according to the Arsenal enthusiast on Twitter, Ben White 7, David Raya 7, Saliba 7. I think I'll give Saliba a 8. Gabriel I give a 8. Zinchenko 7. All right. The class was probably in Marcelo, probably the best player in the park. But this is subjective. These are not my player ratings, but somebody who is equally brilliant to support Arsenal give out his rating. Nketiah was given a 5.5. Yeah, for effort. Nketiah and Gabriel Jesus are not on the same level. Nketiah is a player who is going to be very, very useful if you're going to win trophies. Your bench is equally as important as the first thing. The better we get this into our head now, the more the fan base can understand why this is important. You don't win titles because of your first team. You win titles because of your bench. Players like Fabio Vieira, Emil Smith-Rowe, Leandro Trossard, who are on the periphery of the team right now, we need to cater to them. We need to care for them. We need to get them into rhythm. Not last season, whereby most of these players are ostracized. They are outside looking in. They need to feel involved. They need to play games so that they can contribute towards the business of the season. When players are coming out, they can come in and do the job, you know. Now let's talk about the main story for the day is the David Villa Ramsdale conundrum. I know Ateta said a lot of things, almost alluding to the fact that in the past, he's been wanting to substitute a goalkeeper for another goalkeeper, but he wasn't brave enough to make this decision. And saying that there is no first team player. We know there are first team players. We know Bukayo Saka is not getting benched. We know Martin Odegaard is not getting benched. We know Declan Rice is not getting benched. William Saliba is not getting benched. Let's don't kid ourselves. But I believe that David Raya has Mikel Arteta's heart. Coupled with performance, he needs to perform. He needs to produce the product, right? Produce what Mikel sees in him on the pitch. But Mikel Arteta believes David Raya is going to be Arsenal's number one. In my opinion, don't quote. I'm not quoting anybody. I'm saying my opinion. He believes that is his number one eventually. David Raya's skill set and his ability to command his box. We saw it yesterday. Like he's shorter than Ramsdale, but he comes out. His ability to judge the trajectory of a ball in the air is incredible. Everything he just comes out and picks it out, and his passing. Wow, wow. I know Ramsdale is good. He's a great passer of the ball, but David Villa is another level. But anybody who wins this challenge between both of them is good for Arsenal. I don't care if it's David Raya. I don't care if it's Aaron Ramsdale. All I care about is the best man winning means that Arsenal gets the best man. Hopefully. We've had this scenario before with Leno and Martinez. We chose Leno. that turned out to be not so good. I think Leno and Martinez are on the same level anyway, but that's subjective. Sometimes in life you find yourself somewhere and it just increases your exposure. Right? Martinez is not particularly better than Leno as a shortstopper. We saw it at Arsenal. Leno will be keeping for Aston Villa right now and will produce the same numbers Martinez produced, 100%. But the exposure of going to Argentina and winning the World Cup and the Copa and playing at that elite level. Martinez played a world class level for like a year. Has raised it rose his stock to a very high level. But that's by the way. Right now we're talking about David Raya and Aaron Ramsdale. And may the best man win. Simple as that. In my opinion, I think Ramsey is going to be the goalkeeper on Wednesday in the Champions League. And we'll see Raya come back into the team against Tottenham Hotspur. We're winning both games anyway. I'm confident. The team is growing, the chemistry. Look at those corner kick routines. That is a team that is drilled to perfection. They are drilled, they know what they are doing. There's a reason they're not taking those corners. Because what's the point? You have 6'3", 6'4" monsters. Players who are the only thing they train is to head the ball out in the Everton players. We played into their hands last season and we learned our lesson and we developed a skill to beat that particular thing they do. Wonderful. Kudos to Nicholas Jova, the specialist at Arsenal who works alongside Mikel Arteta. You can see them arguing after that happens and Chengo giving them a thumbs up. That was magnificent planning from them. On and on we go. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the video. Thank you for having me, guys. Do have a wonderful, blessed rest of your evening. Goodbye and stay blessed.